What's going on, working class hustlers of America and all across the globe? My name is Horace, also known as La Machine. We got a special treat for you all. The lovely Miss Karen has blessed us with her presence. I'm so happy about that. Guys, we have not gone live in so long. And if you follow this channel, you know that I've been itching to get back out here, just itching, because this is what we do. Let me see if I can get a better. Yeah, let's go that route. So, we're gonna do a little bit of everything. We'll just see what's going on. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna go live for 1 hour, and we got to be strict with that because I got things to do today. But it's just so wonderful to be here. Miss Karen, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic today. It's good to be connected again.
It is. You're looking beautiful as usual.
Thank you, kind sir. Thank you.
How was 2022 for you, selling on Amazon?
2022 was pretty good. But different than 2021, which was different than 2020.
Well, that's how it is, guys. It's dynamic. It's always changing. Let's say hello to some of our esteemed guests here. Everybody, you are esteemed as far as we're concerned. So we've got Paige, we've got Nate, longtime working class hustler, always has value to bring to us. So that's a special treat. We got Shaquille. We got my producer, Jim, Go Pappy Go. And I don't know how many people we can expect today because nobody knew we were doing this. We're just going to go for it. Oh, look at Sheila. Oh, man. The family is
Sheila.
Here. Yes. Long-time hustler right there. So what we'd like to do is just go over some things depending on, where we are as a group. And maybe do some sourcing together. You guys know I love doing that. It's just a great way to add value. On this channel, we talk about selling on Amazon primarily with the arbitrage business model. So if you're joining us, maybe you're quiet in the background, you're not leaving a comment, that's fine. You don't have to actively participate. We know you're there. Oh, you hear that? I hear an echo.
Yeah, I heard echo too.
Okay.
Still hear it?
Not anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, like I was saying, if we don't really get that many people out here, we're probably just going to source together. Like I said, we do arbitrage. If you're joining, you're kind of quiet. If you're going to watch the replay, depending on when you're looking at this, arbitrage is different than wholesale or private label in that you basically go out and buy retail and then you turn right around and sell retail on Amazon. And the reason you would want to do that is because the barrier to entry is on the lower side and you can get some really, really good returns on investment. I mean, you can get upwards, to get 100%, even 200% is definitely possible. Wouldn't you say, Karen?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to all the models, right? I mean, there's an upside and there's a downside. And thinking about 2022 and how it ended, I'm just wondering for you, how did it go? Because some on the internet were saying, it's getting hard out there to find the values that are going to give you the margins that you're looking for. So how did it go for you? Was it harder? Was retail arbitrage harder or about the same as always?
About the same as always. Now, again, for those of you who watch the channel, I tend to be transparent. If you got to watch the video that came out yesterday, I really compared my numbers, my overall numbers in 2022 versus 2021, and they were up. Now, disclosure, I was doing more wholesale than arbitrage because you guys might know I focus primarily on snack foods. If you deal in snack foods, it's only a matter of time before you start bumping into vendors. They will work with you in most cases, and then you can build a direct relationship. But even still, there are some of my staple items, particularly items that I tend to source from PetSmart. By the way, if you guys don't know, pets, that's just a wonderful category to be in. Um, but yeah, I had a good year. I wouldn't say that it was harder. I don't get excited about much anyway. So if you follow my channel, you know I'm very laid back. So yeah, I let me say this though, is because I'm just going to be honest with you. Over the years, I have been one to jump on Amazon, and I kind of I was always leaning more towards the side based on my experience that Amazon really didn't support sellers. I thought they let buyers run amok, if you will. I have seen a huge change, and a specific example is when I need support and I want to call, I get an answer. Now, I'm not always. It's just me. I would prefer to speak to an American. You don't really get that, but you do get very fast telephone responses, and in most cases, I can get help. I think they have improved. Another thing is, in my experience, there are a lot more yielding towards sellers. I think they're a lot more understanding. And I genuinely feel as though Amazon is really on my side, where there was some periods, because you got to remember, guys, I've been out on Amazon since 2008. There was a period where there was no doubt in my mind they just were not supportive, and in some cases dismissive of us. That has changed quite a bit, and it's a welcomed change. So I
Yeah,
think that's worth
you're
noting.
being really kind. I mean, rarely do I hear
Maybe you're not
anybody have
experiencing that.
anything good to say about support. I personally try to stay away far as possible. But I guess I would have to say that a positive is that certainly in the second half of the year, for sure, I was really able to do that, which means they weren't messing with me all the time. Although I've talked to other sellers, who had lots of weird, fluky kind of things happening that caused them to have to interface with Seller Central a lot. But it ended up pretty well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
So let me get this straight. Would you concur? Would you agree with me that in terms of us having support, having Amazon's support, is in terms of us feeling as though Amazon really wants us to succeed? They're letting us do without micromanaging and stuff like that. Would you say you feel the love from Amazon?
I'm gonna go neutral on that. I'm gonna reserve the right to go left or right on that. I'm a little leaning towards the right a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm afraid to go all the way. I'm afraid to go all the way there. But again, if they would just leave me alone
Hmm.
and not strand my inventory and not lose my inventory all the time, my standard, my bar is pretty low. So it did go pretty well because for a while it was going crazy. Of course, now for Q4 this year, I sold very few toys. I stayed
Okay.
away from a lot of the things that seemed to give heartburn from Amazon. So there was some intentionality in terms of what I was sourcing and making available on that platform. But at any
Well,
rate, I wonder how what everybody else feels. Does everybody else feel truly supportive? I mean, I talked to a brand new individual, and just the other day, and she was expressing frustration about not being able to talk to anyone at Seller Central. And it occurs to me that once you've been in the game for a little while, you sort of figure some things out that are not necessarily intuitive because they kind of try to send you to email and you have to consciously, click over. No, not email. I want to talk to somebody.
Right.
But once you know that, you're good.
Another thing I want to make note of in terms of, you asking me how I fared in 2022. Guys, I've done much more merchant fulfilled. And there's pros and cons. It's very labor intense. I don't mind that. In fact, I welcome a lot of physical labor. I can't produce more time, so I'm going to be limited. There are going to be challenges, and any challenge can be met to a point. Uh, and and what made me think of that, Karen, is when you said something about stranded inventory, Amazon leaving your stuff alone. I don't have that problem as much anymore. I mean, we've talked about it over the years. It's very frustrating
Yeah.
having inventory lost, having it stranded, just so much. Once that inventory leaves wherever you sent it from, it's out of your control. It really is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds because it's kind of like you mentioned. Every year is a little different. This year, I may find myself going more towards FBA, which is typically what I did, sending inventory in and letting Amazon handle everything. That's great on paper, and that's great when it works. When it doesn't, you're pretty much at the mercy of the powers that be. And I can tell you from my experience, if anybody's out there considering merchant fulfilled, a lot of times you're going to assume, oh well, you won't get your share of the buy box, or the lion's share is going to go to FBA. That's not always the case. And even if it is, I fared very well. If you watch some of my videos, I mean, you can see my driveway full with outgoing shipments. It was so much, I literally just couldn't keep up with it. I had to cut it back, and I don't know if I'm going to open it up again, because now I know what it's like to have 60 packages, 70 packages a day. No, it's a
I
great
can't imagine.
problem.
I've never had that. So here's what I'd say. I know quite a few sellers who were very, very successful this past year, with merchant fulfilled
Mhm.
items. And I did more merchant fulfilled than I usually do, but still my go-to is FBA. And I think one of the things that's simultaneously, challenging and exciting and frustrating with Amazon is it's sort of like the stock market. You don't know what's going to happen. You're always constantly making a new play with it. I mean, there are things that I sold for a couple of years, just off the charts, merchant fulfilled. This year, I did not. I
Hmm.
tried a variation of that item, which I sent in FBA, and that was the thing that went off the charts. Um, I was going around telling a couple people, "Hey, you need to get on this because this is a winner." No, not this year. It wasn't. So, um, and the other thing is, what seems to work for one Amazon seller doesn't necessarily work for all Amazon sellers. And I'm not, especially as far as merchant fulfilled, I'm not sure if that is a geographic thing potentially,
Mhm.
because I think geographics do play into um, who gets the sale, or who gets the sale in a given
Definitely, definitely.
area.
Even who gets to see a
Exactly.
particular seller that may be on a listing. They can determine who is even going to be among the choices for a shopper.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I
Yeah,
was
it is.
shopping for a Christmas gift for someone, and I was going to share the cost of it with a friend in North Carolina, and we couldn't get to the same. We were on the same listing, but she saw the price as one thing, and I saw the price as something else.
Wow.
Totally different sellers.
That's
So
that's a
that's
big.
a real thing.
It
I mean,
is.
and we were on the phone together and both looking at the same time, and we were seeing different sellers in the
Mhm.
buy box.
If there's anybody out there while we're just sort of getting going here, this is an active Q&A session as well. So if you have any questions, I don't think we have that many people out there. It looks like I'm showing we only got 8 people out here. So give me a leave a comment, guys, if you want to go ahead and just start sourcing together. Oh wait, Rick, Nate had no sound, but he got it now. And while I'm gonna see if I can queue up a window here, because what I want to do is I'm gonna go into tactical arbitrage, which is what I'm using here.
So while you're doing that, and I
Hmm.
don't know if you can multitask this, but I'll just throw it out there, and I'd be interested in hearing what viewers are thinking too. So obviously, we just came or not that far out of Q4, and it was what it was. I hope it was great for everyone. Um, Now we're in January, and at least for me, January is typically a time of reflection on the past year and
Hmm.
planning for this upcoming year. So um, my mind is wrapped around, things like getting all the tax stuff together from last year, and the eye forward is trying to make sure that I have systems in place, whatever I need to have in place to make it easy as possible
Hmm.
uh, for next year with regard to that. Um, Deciding about what I'm going to, how much do I want to sell next year, this coming year? I don't know. Because
Hmm.
it was hard in Q4. I mean, I got up to a certain level, but I was about dead. I mean, it was a lot for a one person show.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's just what I'm thinking about, and I'm wondering what are you thinking about in January?
Uh yeah. I don't think in those terms as deep as you do. I will tell you this: I've been cutting out a lot of unnecessary expenses. I'm typically very loose on, software, tools, memberships, stuff like that that can just eat away at your funds. And I've been cutting that stuff out. I really haven't sat down to figure out exactly what my strategy is going to be, what my goals are going to be. That's bad. I need to do that. But I know for sure I am locked and cocked when it comes to snack foods. That's my wheelhouse.
That's your wheelhouse, huh?
Yeah, it works for me. It comes with its own set of challenges because the minute you throw an expiration date on something, you just added a level of pressure, whether you feel it or not, whether however you deal with it. If it's perishable, you in a whole nother. But I'll be talking more about snack foods coming up because I think you know this is the way I think about it. When you talk about snack foods, especially in America, this is the way I kind of relay the whole thing. Let me lay it out for you. See, in America, you have tobacco, you have alcohol, you have firearms. Okay. Now I want you to think about this for a second. If you were in the business of selling tobacco, do you think you would have a problem? What if you sold alcohol? Do you think let me try it this way. You sell alcohol. When do people drink? Well, let's see. Do they drink in good times? Check. Do they drink in bad times? Check. Do they drink in the middle? Check. You know what else they do? Consume snack foods. Snack foods is right up there with tobacco, firearms, and liquor. So, so it was worth the challenge. I ought to be ashamed of myself for selling it, but Americans, it's what they consume. And for any newbies out here, don't forget to check we need to be checking in case anybody's leaving any questions. Guys, this is a live Q&A.
I see Nate is in there with us. He says in January it's clear out time. So it's clear out time in January too, for me too. I'm just waiting for January 30th, and then I'll be figuring out what things I'm calling back from FBA. I'll be going through the merchant fulfilled items I have and seeing which things are, just dead. It's just not working for me, and seeing how to dispose of them. Subscriptions, that's a time when I absolutely, like you, La Machine, I reevaluate the value. Did I use the software I have? Try to make rooms for some other possibilities. So.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Let me see if I can.
Let's do it.
Let me see here. What I want to try to do is share my screen. We're going to go into tactical arbitrage. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this right. I'm not the best with this stuff. But that's okay. We'll get better, guys. Just hang tough. What we're going to do right now is go into Tactical Arbitrage. That's the software that I use to source. I got a couple of searches going. So let's.
Hey, Horace. So Nate says keep those trucks running on the snack foods, but not today. But at some point, I think a lot of us, although our primary business model is retail arbitrage, but I think some of us wouldn't mind having a few wholesale accounts, and that seems elusive for a lot of people, getting those wholesale accounts going.
Oh, you mean as far as people wanting to get into wholesale?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing snack foods, but you're not doing your snack foods retail arbitrage. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you're doing a combination. I don't know.
I am.
But if there's a wholesale component to that, I bet you people would be interested in hearing how you got to that place.
Oh yeah, definitely. This isn't going to be the forum for that. We'll probably invite some people to more of a private session where we can get into that kind of stuff. But I can tell you just on the surface, when it comes to snack foods, I do retail as well as wholesale. So in other words, I do walk into some stores
and buy some chips.
Buy off the shelves.
Buy some chips, throw them in a bag, buy some cookies,
throw them
bag
in a
them
box
up and send them. Okay.
Now another thing I will tell you, and again, I really want to put together a workshop to really, there's so much to talk about when it comes to snack foods. But because, when it comes to FBA, remember, and you and I have talked at length on this channel about understanding time when it comes to the time that you ship that product out to the time that it's actually available for sale. There's a lot of factors in there. Think about it. We've talked about it at length.
Yeah.
You might send in, say, 30 Red Bull. Well, what's Amazon going to do with it? Nothing until UPS gets it to them. How long is that going to take? It depends. What warehouse was it going to? How long does it sit in the yard until it gets to the docks to be actually inventoried? How many is Amazon going to say, okay, he sent 30, let's put them all. Oh, wait a minute. Let's send a few to this warehouse, to that warehouse. I mean, all of this stuff is taking time. If you go into the store, and I'm just using this as an example, I'm not saying Red Bull is a good thing to sell or not. If you want to merchant fulfill, then when are the items available? As soon as you say they are. How quick can you get it out? As soon as you can get it out, you are in control. So, and let's say, for example, well, I almost dropped something. I'm moving stuff around.
All right, now.
I may have
said Horace clears the shelves.
Yeah.
So she's saying she knows you do some retail arbitrage and clear some shelves.
Okay. Let's say, for example, and I'm using this isn't a real example with this particular product, but the scenario is very real. Let's say I contacted the makers of Ritter Sport, and they said, hey, we don't want to deal with you. I've had this happen. This does happen to me. And you're talking about, I've been incorporated since 2011. I have a Brad and Dunn Street score. Everything that anybody would want to look at to verify that I'm legitimate, and I still get turned down because some companies don't like my format. I don't have a retail store. I don't have this. I don't have that. Whatever their criteria is, I still have deals where I go into a store, deal with the store manager, the purchasing manager, and still have them order in quantity and give me a bulk discount. So, and then I can turn around and sell these just through arbitrage, so long as the product isn't gated. So, that's just an example when we talk about.
We have to talk about that some other time, because I would never do it. I would be
I mean, I have accounts.
I would be afraid to do it. I wouldn't do it.
I got a neighborhood store right around the corner from me. They call me, hey, your shipment has come in. I go to the docks with my little minivan, the mystery van we call it, pick up this stuff, and I'm out. At first they look at me kind of weird, but they get used to it. They're gonna be all right.
Okay.
So
all right. If you say so.
All right. What are you seeing? Are you seeing my screen?
Tactical arbitrage.
All righty. So you know what? We're gonna do it like this for a minute. Now, guys, if you're not familiar with the software, we are right now in the sourcing software Tactical Arbitrage. And if you want to learn all of that, the ins and outs, we actually have plenty of little, actual mini courses right on this channel. So we call it the Lightning Series. Maybe we'll drop a link, but well, later on we'll drop a link in the description if you really want to learn the ins and outs. And I do plan on updating this because since Three Coats bought it, man, there's been some significant changes. I don't like change, so I was a little, I don't know about it, but I think it's turned out to be a good thing that they bought it. They've changed some features. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go into our search manager, and here you can see we have what's called a reverse search in progress. Now, again, if you want to know about that, we have videos that talk about that. But what you can see is 978 products have been added. Let me see something for a second.
How much time do you devote to looking through Tactical Arbitrage a day? I mean, do you do it almost? Do you look through almost every day?
I don't. There was a time when I did, but I I don't do it as much as I used to. Let me go over to completed. It's been so long since I've been in this thing. Let's see here. Let me fool around with this a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta.
What are you trying to take us to? What are you?
I'm
where are we
going to my.
going?
We're going to the results so that we can look through this junk, because
Oh, okay.
what it is I want to kind of show how what it looks like, how to here, hold on, I got it. Okay, are you seeing the results? Let me know.
Not right now.
Okay, hold on, let me see.
Okay. I don't know if Shaquille is still with us. I don't know Shaquille.
What was there a comment?
No, I was just wondering if he's is still with us, and I was wondering if he used tactical arbitrage too.
Oh, okay. Can you see my screen?
I know Nate does. Yes.
Okay. Let me see something here. All right. So basically, what we're looking at right now is the results, the way they look when you go through your screen. Actually, let me tell you real quick. This product right here, this Crystal Light,
Yep.
I actually ended up sourcing this very product at a little small chain that we have out here.
Grocery
Sometimes you
outlet?
no, not grocery outlet. It's called
No.
Sharp Shopper. You might know
Oh,
that because you do get through Pennsylvania from time to time.
I
But
do.
there is a store called Sharp Shopper that's pretty good. Not as good in my opinion as a grocery outlet, but it's similar. I found a different flavor. It's a quantity of 12. You do have to watch your quantities when you're looking at listings, but yeah, this turned out pretty good. This has been a good one. Now it was one I had to sit on for a while because that's a strategy, buy and hold. But the
Talk about
funny
that for
thing,
a minute. Talk
huh?
about that.
Well, yeah. Now in this case, what happened with me was I bought the product. I was doing really well with it. Started to tank. Other people were jumping on the listing. And then I decided, well, you know what? Let me see if I can sell it on Walmart. And it turned out to be really good on Walmart. And we may talk more about that this year, just depending on the hustlers if they want to talk about selling on Walmart, because I mentioned it, guys. If you watched yesterday's video, I showed my progress from one year to the next on that. And it was literally tenfold the amount that I did from 2021 to 2022, comparing. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you wanted to talk a little bit about buy and hold?
Yeah, I was just. I mean, you mentioned that you had to hold on to it for a while, and I think our orientation is typically to buy and sort of put it out there and for it to turn as quickly as possible. Of course, when you're merchant fulfilling, yeah, you can just set your price and just hold until everybody burns out if you've got the space and the capital to continue on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you already know how I feel about that. Buy and hold is a great strategy. A lot of people, they're just not going to do it because they don't have the patience, and it's going to kill them. But you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at at what we're seeing here. Some of the important things are, let's see if I can highlight my cursor. So right here you have the actual store that you're sourcing from. And you can see with tactical arbitrage, you'll have stores like Target, like Vitacost, some of these other ones, even Kmart, which y'all never find anything good there. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at this particular line right here. Right here, you can see the sales rank. You can see the average sales rank over 90 days. You can see the price. This represents your price. You're going to have to, that can vary. So this just kind of gives you an overview. This is showing the buy box, things like that. Guys, the software is not going to tell you whether or not it's a good product. The software is going to put data in front of you for you to evaluate. You can see the estimated monthly sales. Now, this is not based on Keepa. This is based on Tactical Arbitrage. They have their own chart, which I like. This is showing what your gross profit should be. That's going to vary, so you got to run it through your metrics. Gross return on investment, 68%. That sounds great, but you would have to go through your metrics. From here, if it looks like something that you want to go for, the first thing I like to do is make sure that I'm approved to sell it, because if you're gated in it, you don't need to spend any more time on it. In this column, and you can move these columns around, but in this column, you're looking at the number of sellers. Typically, if I only see one seller, it usually means that it's probably gated, but not necessarily. So,
we have to look and see who the seller is to see what you think.
Yeah, you know what? Tell you what we can do. If you click on the Amazon image, that'll take you to that actual store. Well, to the listing itself. Mm-hmm. Can you see that?
We can see the images. We can see side-by-side images, but we're not at the...
You're not at the... Let me see.
We're not at the listing. We're not seeing a listing.
All right, let me get you there. All right, maybe now.
You know what? It occurs to me, almost anything will work if you do the work.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost anything will work if you do the work.
Right. And you'll hear me talk a lot about that degree of separation. And that's why, a lot of what I end up doing is the things that people don't want to do, because a lot of people come into this space looking for easy. So if you want easy, then you're going to compete with everybody that wants things easy, and you're going to have a lot of people. So, nobody usually says, well, let's see how I can do more work. That sounds counterintuitive. It sounds crazy, but I can tell you from my experience, that's where the treasures lie, because you just don't have as many people that want to do any work. All right. Can you see the Amazon listing now?
Yeah. Do I see something like restricted or something?
Is that what you're seeing?
I don't know. I don't know if I can trust my eyes on that or not.
All right. Well, a lot of times what I'll do right away is come down, look at the Keepa chart, and I can see by that tan area, everything's tanned out. So Amazon is always carrying that product. Now, I will jump on with Amazon. Well, hold on. Let me see something real quick. I want to look at something real quick.
Did I see that one had no sales rank? And the only reason why I'm asking that is because if it said no sales rank, I'm just questioning what kind of filters were you using. Because it feels like with tactical arbitrage, the filters are really important in terms of the results you get.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh,
you cast your net pretty wide. I would tend to, um, although I've purchased and sold a lot of products that had no rank, but I don't know if I look for them in tactical arbitrage. I probably would filter them out.
actually, it looks like for whatever reason my tool wasn't showing the rank.
Oh,
But
okay, it does have rank. Okay.
yeah, the rank is 6,000, so
Oh,
you know it's
it's
good.
got great rank.
And
It's got great rank.
actually, the system would allow me to list. Now that doesn't mean that that they may not come after me.
Yeah.
You know, that's a risk you learn to take. Or if you want to use a tool like, I don't know, IP alert or whatever, if you're into forums and there's a particular brand that you want to check on.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just give an example.
Let me put that in IP alert and see what I get.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And while you're
Was it
doing that,
Taylor's?
yeah, something like that. Let me see.
Taylor's T?
Yeah, Taylor's. How does can you just throw the ASIN in there, or that's not how IP alert works? It's been a while since I.
Oh, yeah, I can throw the ASIN in. That would be an idea.
All right, let me. I'm gonna grab that ASIN and throw it in the chat, and then you can grab it from there.
Yep, we
And
definitely
anybody
can.
else who might be out here can look at it as well. See if that came through.
Yep, got it. That's a long ASIN.
Yeah, that is. Does that? No, you know what? I gave you too many letters.
I'm
I
I'm
think
cool with the B07 and the BPX, but I don't know
you're
how far.
all the way up to K.
Okay, that sounds about right. Okay. This brand has no IP claims reported.
Hmm,
That's what it says.
okay. But when I went to throw it into the revenue calculator, it didn't have the dimensions for some reason. So that might mean, I don't know, that's not making sense. Because if Amazon's on it, the dimensions should be there. Now another thing I can do, we're gonna come back. Can you see that keeper chart I'm looking at?
Yes, we can.
I'm sort of going, I'm looking at these triangles and then I'm looking at these squares. So there has been third party fulfilled by merchant on that. I already
Okay.
know this wouldn't be a good product for merchant fulfill because I know there's not going to be enough margin on that. But here you could click and actually see who it is that's selling this. And if you wanted to, you could actually go and look at that person's store and kind of see what else they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, that's not a real good one. But either way, I kind of wanted to show, uh, just kind of show how you go through the process of evaluation.
So,
Let's.
speaking of the process of evaluation, you have a zillion videos, but I don't know that I've ever seen one on Keep.
Very few. I do have one or two,
Okay.
and of course, I talk about it a lot. Let's see. I got to get better at this. Let's see. I want to I want to go back to the results and see what else we might be able to find here. I love actually leaving somebody with something that
A good one.
they could actually, yeah, something that they could actually do,
Yeah.
actually source. But I don't know.
You know what I've been sourcing recently, and this is probably possibly only going to work for those who know how to stack coupons and so forth. But if you find Mia, MIO, uh, the crystal light kind of got me thinking about that kind of thing. But MIO, virtually any flavor. If you can get it for about $1
Mm-hmm.
on sale, it's going to be a winner.
Okay.
Mio flavor, I don't know, it's a sugar free drink mix or something.
Okay.
It's nice. It sells fast and at a good margin. If you can find it for the right price.
Okay. Let's see here.
Which is sometimes as easy as just Googling Mio. And sometimes in the shopping tab, they'll just tell you where the best prices are or if anybody's got it on sale.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I got this figured out, but I ain't sure just yet. So hold up. Let's
We got a whole 12 minutes to go.
see.
Take it out.
Let me try this. All right, so we back at my results.
We are.
All right, cool. Let me just see what I'm looking at here. A lot of the time, this Ovaltine is good, but this store right here, isn't this store out where you are, somewhere in the Midwest? This Meyer, don't they have physical stores?
Yeah, Meyer is around the corner, walking distance from where I live in the Midwest.
Okay.
So I should go over to Meyer and check out Ovaltine. Okay.
All right. So here's an example. Let's say we're looking at Ovaltine. We see it's at Target. We see what the sales rank was at the time of the search. Guys, sales rank changes a lot. We see what the price was at Target, again, at the time of the search. This is what the buy box was. Now, if you're looking at a price of about $26 and a buy box at about 50, you should be able to, make some money. And when it comes to these types of mixed shakes or whatever, these things do sell. You're talking about a gross return on investment of 30%. Let's see how many people. This says 3 people selling. You could click on that magnifying glass and get deeper if you wanted to, but we're not going to go that deep. From here, again, what I like to do is see if I'm restricted. Right here, it says I have no restrictions. And that's a fairly new feature right here. Now, one thing you gotta be careful, because here we can see we're done. Yeah, it's $50, but wait, this is a pack of 6. That's not gonna work, because you paying 26, and you got to make sure that's probably not a pack of 6. See, that's a 12 ounce, so that's no good.
Yeah.
This is
Ovaltine has got great ranks. But I don't know about what it says about the profit.
But you get better and better. For example, look at this Crystal Light. Right away, you can see in the Amazon title, it's 12 packs. See, this is a 6-pack. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a deal breaker, because you can put 2 together, right? And if you're going to spend roughly $5 for 2, and then if you're seeing that, wait, it's supposed to be two of them selling for 30, you might be able to work this out. Go over to Amazon. It's a 6-count pack of 12. So they should get, as long as they get 12 packets, they should be okay. Now, here we go again. These are the things you're looking at, guys. I already know the sales rank is good, but if you want to, you'll get good at figuring out where to go real quick and look at your sales rank. That's very good sales rank right there. 4,000 upwards 5,000. That's really good rank. You can see here's when Amazon started carrying it, somewhere back in November. They went out of stock for a minute. They've been back. They ain't going nowhere. But look at you gotta make sure. But what you're seeing right off the bat is Amazon is pretty much staying at $30. Okay. And another thing that I like, they got a 5-order limit. Usually if they put a limit on something, that's pretty good. But you got to be careful. It's a 6-count packet. They may be saying 12 6-count packs. So you got to look at that kind of stuff. All right. This is what I mean when I say the software, it's not going to tell you whether or not something is a good buy. It's going to put data in front of you that you need to evaluate. So when you learn how to evaluate, what are the pitfalls you got to watch out for? You know, making sure that you have.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I've sold some Yogi tea before.
Oh, okay.
Not that much profit.
Not that much profit. All right, let's take a look.
I feel like I really bought it to get ungated or something.
Okay. Another thing, as soon as I see a suppressed buy box, it's usually good. In this case, it's not, but it's usually good. You know, you would have to look and kind of see for yourself if you could make any money with this. This would not be one that I was interested in, but this is how you do it, guys. You just go down the line. Maybe next week I'll have some already put together. Coffee is definitely a good one. I have sold this particular brand before, and this size I have sold in the past. Let's just take a look. Walgreens is a great place to source from. But again, guys, you just got to be careful. And, you know, I don't have a Walgreens near me, so I would need it to ship, and I can see it's not shipping to, at least not to where I'm at, but it may ship to where you are. So, let me look at this. I'm going to see. It's the 22 ounce.
Be a few dollars in that.
There may be. Again, you got to make sure that
do a cash back on it.
Do a cash back. Make sure you're not restricted. I'm not restricted.
Get a coupon on Walgreens.com of some type. There's usually some kind of 10% off or some kind of something. Might be able to make that work.
Exactly. Let me look at something real quick. Let's see if this could be a deal. And again, I can't get it shipped to me, but I may find it somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we're looking to see if we can get it from Walgreens. What if you can't? Walgreens ain't the only one to sell this product. Perhaps it's at Walmart, or who knows? Yeah. A lot of times this one thing leads you to another.
Right. Okay? Helps you sometimes to, you start there and then you go down the rabbit hole and maybe you find a different size is even more profitable.
Yes.
Possibly. Or a different variety of that brand.
Or less competition on it.
Or less competition, absolutely.
All right, so let me show you what it would look like once you come into the revenue calculator. Let's say, for example, you were able to get this for $7.49, and remember, where I'm at, you don't pay tax on that product. And again, Amazon is selling it for $20.25. You're gonna pay. We're gonna say, assuming you got free shipping, you're gonna pay about $7.50. So, let's see if this works.
Revenue calculator, is that a tab on the Seller Central site? I never use that. I don't know.
I just went to I just typed it in.
Oh, okay.
I typed in revenue calculator and then
On Seller Central.
Well, just I opened up a tab.
Oh, you opened up a tab.
And in Google I searched it.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
So if you follow me, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it. I already know that's probably gonna cost me, oh my, easily $10. If I, and this box is the shipping charge that you would charge the customer. So actually, let's see, cost of goods sold. Oh, it gave me an error for whatever reason. So we'll just look at it under a FBA for now, because you can do both sides. If you're like me, you might want to figure out which side do I really want. Do I want to ship it myself or not? I know there wouldn't be enough profit in that, because I know how much shipping is going to cost. But if I were to ship them in, you're talking about a net profit of, roughly $2.94. You dig a little deeper before you pull the trigger, but this wouldn't be a bad product. Again, when you look at that keeper chart, look at the velocity on that. Look at that green line, how much movement you got. You're talking about a sales rank of 2,790. Guys, it's not that. It's not rocket science. Do Americans drink coffee? You better believe it. So, yeah, we're gonna kind of wrap things up. If there was any last questions, and I don't think there will be.
I'm not seeing any.
I'm not seeing any either. We'll probably come back next week just because we love it. I expect that more hustlers will show up once they get word that we're doing this, and then we're going to let you guys kind of help direct what we talk about, because we want you to be active participants. We want to show you that this is really possible, and we want you to be excited. If you're thinking about this, maybe you dabbled in it before, and this is the year that you want to get serious. We want to be the ones to really encourage you, help answer your questions, and help get you going. But Karen, you said something. I'm going to paraphrase, and you can correct me. I think you said it works if you do the work.
It does.
So guys, you gotta remember that. A lot of times I'll talk to you about how I did, and guys, you gotta understand where I'm coming from mentally. Perhaps you can connect with me. If you're not the person that has to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, I don't do that, and yet I still do okay.
That's amazing.
Thanks for joining Easy Mode. We got to get going here, but you can catch the replay. And I'm so glad you joined us, and we want to encourage you because you weren't here. This is an open forum. We don't have time, but you can leave questions in the comments. Myself and the lovely Miss Karen, we will respond, and we will be back next week. Hopefully we can get you more advanced notice for those who want to plan for this, because this is Saturday. And if we can go later next week, guys, I think this will be better. We have to consider all time zones. So if we do this at 3, it's only noon over in California. So we got to think about that. But today I had other things. But just to wrap up what I was saying, listen, I do not get all wrapped up and uptight and worried about everything. Now, if you was one of them little big-headed boys running home from school, I get it. Okay, I get it. You remember them little big-headed boys running home because they've been telling on people all day? That wasn't me.
Not
Now,
you.
we have to understand, you know, if you resonate with me or if you're going to allow my thinking to affect you, what you're going to end up doing is worrying a lot less. Should you be concerned? Yes. Do I advocate you doing things exactly the way I do? Probably not. But
Right.
I'm very fond of saying Amazon they're a little dramatic, and a lot of times they'll leave you messages that have you feeling as though Armageddon is here. And in most cases, it ain't that serious. So, again, guys, we got to wrap it up. Karen, did you have any last words?
I don't think so. You've just got me laughing about your philosophy when it comes to crossing the T's and dotting the I's. But people are asking. Nate asked, "Did you see when is the next Zoom call?"
And Nate, you're referring to our private Zooms. We'll have to figure that out together. You came up in conversation between myself and Karen the other day. I want to talk to you anyway. So you and Elizabeth can expect to hear from yours truly. And at that time, we can discuss having a private Zoom. I haven't done that in a while, so I don't even know who would be interested. Easy Mode
That'd be cool.
says, new to this, looking forward to the next one. And we'll leave questions. So thank you so much. And anybody that
leave questions. I mean, you it's so much better if you have some direction from the people who have taken the time to tune in.
They deserve our attention.
Can be responsive, much more responsive, if you know what's on people's minds and what they're interested in.
Absolutely. There's so much to cover. Remember, guys, we're just in the month. We're just finishing up the first month of this year. God willing, we're going to continue doing this. So this is just the first of many, and we're going to allow you guys to help direct where we're heading, get all of your questions answered, and really get the Working Class Hustler family back at full strength again. And even better than what we've done in the past. So we were doing this a lot more before the pandemic. Things change. It's fine. All right. You've got myself, La Machine. You've got the lovely Miss Karen. We will be joining you again.
Easy Mode said they want in.
Okay. All right. Hey, they're going to force me to do it. So, hey, what can I say? I'm a sucker for the Working Class Hustlers. They do this to me all the time because they know I can't say no. I don't know. What can I say? Yeah. But on that note,
gotta wrap.
We gotta wrap. So, as I always say right around this time, music.
Oh, yes.
All right, guys. Me and the lovely Miss Karen are going to sign out. And we will see you next week. This has been What to Sell on Amazon. Can't wait to see you next week. Good night. Good night,
Always
everybody.
Fun. Take care. Have a great day.
Good night.
Take care.